After the Doctor was trapped in prison for all eternity by the Judoon at the end of the Series 12 finale, we have eagerly been anticipating the release of this year's festive special titled Revolution of the Daleks. There have been countless theories and pieces of information about this episode, so today I compile them all and tell you everything we know about Revolution of the Daleks so far. These are in no particular order because you can't really rank bits of information from worst to best or best to worst or anything like that. I'm just going to start rambling and start off with number 1, Dalek Civil War. The only real indication of what the plot will be, apart from a certain other Reddit leak, which, let's face it, probably isn't true, but more on that later, is the plot will revolve around a Dalek Civil War. This was the concept from the 80s that involved two factions of Daleks, the Imperial Daleks, usually led by Davros, and the Renegade Daleks, usually led by the Supreme Dalek, at war with each other. This was a theory that people had even before we knew the title of the episode, because of a night shoot on Clifton's suspension bridge where a Bronze Dalek says, "You are impure," to a new design of Dalek and consequently exterminates it. Well, that's a lie. We don't actually know that Dalek was definitely the one to exterminate the Black Dalek, but let's face it, with that line, it probably is. However, this doesn't necessarily mean Dalek Civil War, as in Victory of the Daleks, the Teletubby Daleks, for lack of a better word, say something similar to the Bronze Daleks before exterminating them, but they were happily exterminated because they realised they were in fact impure, and were happily exterminated by the Paradigm Daleks. But that wasn't a civil war. But ever since the title Revolution of the Daleks was revealed, it only seems to back up this theory, as well as the fact that Jodie Whittaker has said there is a hint in the title. Number 2, Jack is almost definitely back. I won't talk about this one too much for obvious reasons, but yeah, the second thing I do want to talk about is the fact that Jack is almost definitely back. There is so much evidence to suggest this. I will genuinely be extremely surprised if he doesn't show up. I do have an entire video dedicated to this one topic where I detail all the many pieces of evidence that he is back, and there should, if future me remembers, be a card in the top right hand corner of the screen which will have that video in. So I won't go into much more detail, so if you want more information on the subject, then watch that video. Number 3, the departure of Graham and Ryan. After it was announced that Tosin Cole had landed in a role in a US drama, many had speculated that his character of Ryan Sinclair, don't you dare, would be exiting the show at the end of the 12th series, or in the special, and as he didn't exit in the finale, it seems like it's going to happen in the special, as many news outlets were also reporting the fact that both Bradley Walsh and Tosin Cole would be leaving the show in Revolution of the Daleks. This is now looking extremely likely, and the fact that Bradley Walsh is also being cast in another show adds more and more weight to this report. How they will leave is currently unknown. Will they be killed off or live to fight another day? Who knows, but it is looking like that Revolution of the Daleks will be the last story to feature Ryan Sinclair and Graham O'Brien. The Doctor is in Shada. So, at the end of the Timeless Children... Oh no, I said the Timeless Child. The Doctor is sent to prison by the Judoon. I, along with many others, have theorised that this prison is in fact Shada, which first appeared in the 4th Doctor story, Shada. This was built by the Time Lords, and as was Captain Jack, I have an entire video dedicated to explaining all the evidence that this is indeed Shada, which again will be linked in the card in the top right hand corner, so if you want more on that, then watch that video. That does go into a lot of detail on that theory. Number 5. The episode might end on a cliffhanger. In an interview on a podcast, Amanda Gill made some comments regarding Revolution of the Daleks, stating that it ended very ambiguously, and she had no idea which direction they were going to go for the next series. She also said that she hadn't pressured them for an answer. These comments obviously suggest that her character will be back for the next series, but also suggest that the episode might end on a cliffhanger. What would it be? I don't know. Could it be that the Daleks win the next series is trying to undo what the Daleks did in Revolution of the Daleks? That would be quite cool. Others have said this means regeneration and have interpreted it as the Doctor regenerates and she doesn't know whether her character will be back. I don't think that's the case, but again, more on that later. Number 6, the return of Jack Robertson. There was a picture making its way around the internet of the TARDIS on the set of Revolution of the Daleks in some sort of office. There is a strange logo that looks like an R with a sort of dot next to it, which many have suspected stands for the word Robertson. The TARDIS is also in this shot and happens to be covering up part of a word, 2 letters of that word are R and T, which many have noticed would also fit into the word Robertson really well. I'm kind of hoping this isn't the case, as he was that Trump rip-off person who was really annoying in the actors in the UK. However, I think it would be quite cool to see him on the TV, having won the 2020 American election, and then is immediately exterminated by a Dalek, and that's what leads to the Doctor and go to his office. Or if he is in it, I hope he's not in it for long. I hope he does get exterminated really quickly. Number 7, regeneration, question mark. No. This is one I don't think will happen, but someone will call me out in the comments if I don't mention it, so here we go. Many people on forums such as Gallifrey Base have said they've received intel from their sources telling them that Jodie will be regenerating at the end of Revolution of the Daleks. One of these people went even further and posted a supposedly leaked photo of said regeneration, but as many have pointed out, this is not real in the slightest and is in fact this photo from It Takes You Away with some added glowing eyes and special effects. The background as well has obviously been replaced with the TARDIS. I highly doubt that this will actually happen, however I do think they will try and surprise us with a surprise regeneration, just not in this episode. Number 8. The final one. All the small things and other things I haven't mentioned. There are a few more things we know about this episode. They're either very small or don't have much evidence, so I'm just going to mention them very quickly. We obviously have a new Dalek design. I have a video on the subject as well, like I have with a few of the other things. There was a picture a while ago of a van with a unit logo on it. Some people thought this might have just been a van they were using to transport props. However, when neither the van nor the location appeared in the series, a lot of people have now suspected that unit may return in this episode. People have also suspected that Davros may return. There is literally no evidence apart from the fact that all the Dalek Civil War stories have featured Davros. There was also a clip of some explosions and people running away from presumably Daleks that was put out on the internet. Nothing really to talk about that clip apart from the fact that it's quite a good clip. And finally, there was a night shoot in Cardiff Castle with Daleks and the Doctor, so that's also very interesting. And finally, let's talk Dalek Wreck. Dalek Wreck was a supposed plot leak from Reddit, stating that the plot would be the exact same as Evolution of the Daleks, with Dalek renamed Dalek Wreck. One word. No. This was, I believe this is supposed to be a joke, because if you look at the reasons why this is probably a joke, Evolution of the Daleks is called Evolution of the Daleks. Revolution of the Daleks has the same title as Evolution of the Daleks, just with an R on the front. Dalek Wreck is the same as Dalek Sec, just with the S replaced to an R. There's also the fact that Series 12 was very similar to Series 3 and a lot of the ideas it had, it could be playing off that. And also I doubt Chibnall, if he was trying to recreate or remake a story, would be that on the nose with it. And I think that is all. Is there anything I have missed? What do you think will happen in Revolution of the Daleks? Put your thoughts down in the comments section below. Please remember to like and subscribe, but in the meantime, I've been Cyberman Alf, and from me for now it's goodbye.